And moving on to professional experience. So this is something that the admissions committee is really going to focus on in order to evaluate your candidacy here. And so again, similar to academic profile, this is really broken up into two things. So we're looking at your resume and we're looking at your letters of recommendation here. So the resume, I think, is just your chance to, in a very clear and concise way, talk about your work experience, but also, talk to us about your academic experience, as well as any volunteer opportunities you've had, any activities that you've done, or even any interests that you have that you really think help to tell your story. The resume should, as a good rule of thumb, be kept to one page when at all possible. If you have been working for maybe more than 10 years, that could be an exception there, but for the most part, students should be looking at a one-page resume. And we actually do offer candidates a template on our application for use. The letters of recommendation, we do require 2 of them. And I'd like to spend just a little bit of time talking about these, because these are things that can really help move the needle on an application. So the letters of recommendation basically echo what we've learned in your resume, but to a much fuller extent. So with that, you should be choosing recommenders who have supervised you, either currently are supervising you or formerly supervised you, and have had the opportunity to formally review your work performance. I think a lot of students feel that the letters of recommendation are out of their hands, but I don't think that is true. What you can do is, if you're still working with that recommender, maybe take them out to lunch. If you're not in the same city anymore, schedule a phone call with them and really take some time to chat with them, about your MBA aspirations, but also, take it as a time to remind them of some of the impacts that you've made. In these letters of recommendation, we really learn a lot about you. We learn about your progression at work. We learn about the trajectory that you've been on. We learn about the impacts that you've made, and we learn about your potential to lead. So really take some time to spend with your recommenders, kind of going over all of this information. And then one last thing I'll say before I pass it over to my colleague Jared is that if you've submitted if your recommender has submitted a recommendation in either Spanish or Mandarin, we do offer translation services for those.